also alive.
There we go. Hi everyone. I'm very excited because Michelle and I today are going to talk about money. So while you eat, we're going to learn about how to make a dollar into a dime, right? We're going to learn a little bit about finance.
Absolutely.
And we're going to learn some fun facts about you, right?
I'm ready.
Yes. So Michelle, I'll let you introduce me to whoever is on your side.
So hi, it's Michelle. I'm here with ZEAHLOT. Beautiful office out in Studio City. So very excited to be having this conversation about
Drinking some water.
Oh yeah, lemon water,
That's
absolutely.
it.
So that's to hydrate. It's very hot outside. So I'm glad to be inside where it's cool, but also, having a conversation, not just about money, but also just empowering people in regards to just careers as well as just goals that they might have. And just really, spreading the message. So I'm very excited to have this conversation today and, get the show rolling.
Absolutely, same here. So every single time I bring a guest speaker, it's because they have so much value, but I'm also really big on women in entrepreneurship, women of color, women in business, and just what are you doing, right? Because you're doing awesome things. And every time I speak to you, I'm just like, what is she doing? Like, how can I get on your track, right? So here's what we'll start off with today. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Michelle on my side. And just for all of you that may or may not know me on Michelle's side, I am an LPCC and LMFT, and all that means is I'm licensed in the state of California to help people with marriage, family, children, like baby mamas, or just family, or anything that might help the family structure cope or manage their family in a better way. So I have been licensed for the past 2 years. And we're in my Studio City office right now, and I just love having different people come in and get to know the community. This is more of a resource for other people to get to know that. And today I'm really excited because we have interns in the house. So these great interns that are here at Be The Therapy are aspiring therapists, aspiring entrepreneurs, aspiring business people that are learning how to really work and build a relationship. So that's what we're going to be working on today. So if you guys can hear us, go ahead and wave and let us know, all right?
Yes.
So I'll introduce you, Michelle.
Yes.
All right, so the name is Michelle Vine.
Yes.
Michelle Vine. She is originally and currently based in Los Angeles. So I'm also from Los Angeles. You are too, right?
Yes.
That's it right there. She is currently in the field of finance and wealth management, right? And she co-runs a boutique financial firm, Excellion Financial. Excellent. In Brentwood and Santa Monica area, right? That West LA area.
Yes.
Yeah, that traffic, but the views.
I'm lucky to live in that area, so I don't have to deal with morning traffic, but even the streets are just jam-packed. So.
Do you walk to work?
I don't, because talk about having to wear heels. I mean, you could wear your flats, but I'm carrying my heels too, so no, I mean.
I have the same, so I live so close now that I could actually walk, like I'm literally blocks away. But them heels, they keep me like just driving here, so I think I'm just gonna stick them in the backpack.
Yeah, but that's a good point. Really, when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's all about making your life easier, and so we kind of spread this in the office. It's all about just making things convenient, so living close to the office. Talk about you get in on time, if not early. You can knock out calls and just get things done. We always say first come, first serve, or just whoever comes in first, obviously, is the winner.
That's it.
So yeah.
Be the first one in the office and the last one out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I hear that.
So it's important to obviously make your life convenient, especially as a business owner.
That's true. That's definitely a tip you guys can take on your own. All right. So continuing on, you have your education from the University of Riverside, UC, right?
UC Riverside.
We definitely got some UCs up in here, right? Yeah. All right, let's see. And then your bachelor's was in economics and film.
Yes.
Oh, you have both.
So actually when I applied to many UC schools and got accepted to UC Riverside, I actually declared business administration, and so it was going to be a 4-year track, but then I was wanting to also study film, and so when I went to my counselor, she said you might have to add another semester or a quarter or two to your entire college tenure. And so I was like, well, is there a way to kind of make it a 4-year? And she said, well, study business economics and still have the film degree, and then you can knock it out within 4 years. So I'm like, okay, let me change my major to business economics, but still include film.
Yeah, and I hear there's not many two women in business economics specifically.
No, not at all. I mean, I think people get a little intimidated with the study of economics just because, I don't know, maybe it's too technical, but very much it was an experience. I would say most of my professors were foreign, so it was hard to really understand just, from just the lecture.
The gist of it, or
The gist of it,
Yeah.
the way they teach is very much different from how we are taught in the U.S., but still I felt like I was able to learn a lot, but still when I got into the real world, talk about just, reality.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is what I love about our relationship. And we've gotten to know each other through networking, through masterminds, through my business coach, through different people. And I think the most important thing to remember for people is if you can manage your emotions, you can manage your money.
Exactly.
Right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're the money and I'm the emotions.
Emotion.
So that's it right there,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
So that's what we're really interested today about, just learning about money and how to save and what do I do with this, what do I do with this money?
Yeah.
So, before we go into that, I want to know, what's a fun fact about yourself, Michelle? Tell us. Fun fact.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very much a sports fanatic. I may be wearing dresses, but I definitely like to just be in like basketball shorts or like yoga pants and just really enjoying, exercising, but also watching sports. So I used to play basketball when I was younger. Actually was probably the only sibling out of the 4 that played sports. Sorry guys if I'm putting you on blast, but very much I was someone who, young, was always active, played at the Boys and Girls.
Sweats, hair tied up.
Yeah, I was definitely a tomboy growing up,
Yeah.
but I very much wanted to just, compete, win, and whatnot. So I would say even when it comes to business, I like to get.
You like to win.
I like to win, but
That's
also
it.
go the distance. So very much learned that it's all about the journey versus it being a race.
Absolutely.
So-
And I think one of the most beautiful things I've learned from you also in business is how to maintain a relationship.
Yeah.
This you do so well, and I see you
Yeah.
moving, but also the customer service that you give, because I've actually experienced your services, and they're like up to par, like they're excellent.
Thank you.
And you check in and you're like, Z, how are things going? Was there anything that you needed a question?
Right.
And I think that's the key component that a lot of people miss in psychology or their business or any of that, right?
Yeah.
The biggest fear, I think, I don't know, I could be wrong here with money, is the unknown. Like the what ifs, what does this mean, and what am I doing with this?
Absolutely.
And the more comfortable you make someone feel, it's when that relationship starts to build and bloom, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Michelle, then we'll start with the first question here, and these are from the interns, and then we'll actually have additional questions later, if
Awesome.
that's all right.
Yeah,
All right. So the first question is, what are the most important aspects of financial literacy? Like, what should we know about finance and money? Like, what's important to know? Put us on.
Yeah, I mean, the most important is probably knowing the basics when it comes to, the basics of saving.
What is that though? Like, what are basics? Like,
Yeah,
what should we know?
obviously ways of saving. So obviously maybe lots of people are saving in the bank, but do you know just how money grows and understanding like the rate of return? And then also just having that mindset of, you want to have your money work for you versus you working for that money.
Yeah, and I've heard that a lot, especially with Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
It's the first time I ever learned that. It's a great book to read if nobody's, read it. But how do we know when an ROI is a good idea and when it's not? ROI is return on investment. Yeah. What should we look for?
Well, I mean, obviously it's a matter of also being up to date with just what's happening in the market. So I don't know if you guys were aware of yesterday's performance. Market went down probably close to 2 to 3% just in one day. So it's been said that's the worst of 2019 so far.
Okay.
So, I mean, not to get too technical, but just
Right.
more of like, being up to date of just where your money is and how it could definitely be impact based off of obviously the overall economy.
So let's say that somebody like me, like I live in a cave,
Mhm.
like besides my manicures, and besides my patients here and my interns, like I stay in my lane.
Yeah.
How can I keep up to date? Like, is there an app I can just
Oh yeah.
download or something to help me with this?
Yeah, I mean, talk about, CNN, CNBC,
Okay.
Bloomberg,
So Bloomberg, as an app.
Yeah.
CNN. What else?
CNBC, Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street Journal. I've seen that little stock thing on the Apple
Oh
phone.
yeah! Oh my
That's
God!
it?
If you have
Is that
Apple phones, obviously there's a stock app, and you can just look up just the stock market itself. I mean, I posted yesterday's returns, and so yeah, everybody has that. So.
That's a great point, Michelle. Let me tell you something. So as a woman that stays in a cave and does nothing but work,
Yeah.
I'm like Rihanna all day, every day. I would probably be more in tune and wanting to see if you posted something on
Yeah.
that than me going to some app for like
Absolutely.
stock exchange.
Yeah.
So where can people find you on the gram to like
Yeah.
follow you and ask questions if they have any?
Yeah, so my username is just my full name, so Michelle_Vine, very basic, nothing too fancy.
You have like a movie star name though. You
I
have
know,
Michelle
well,
Vine.
Vine, so Hollywood and Vine.
That's it.
I get people calling me Vine Time, Vineyard, I don't know, just
All kinds of stuff.
all kinds of things. So I guess I was
Yeah.
meant to be somebody or something.
You already are somebody.
Oh.
That's it. That's it. So Michelle, all right. So besides knowing somebody, because you're the plug for me.
Yeah.
Like with finance, I have questions. I go to you.
Yeah.
What can people do to further educate themselves on finance? Like what major books do you recommend? Like podcasts, anything that people have access to that's low cost or free.
Right. I mean, Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's definitely a good book to
Robert
read.
Kiyosaki.
Yeah, that's a good book. I mean, I like to read articles. That's definitely giving you up to date of just news, and especially in regards to your
Where
money.
do you get the articles though? Is there a platform?
So
or?
same as I mentioned in terms of the apps. So so
okay.
publications. So again, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal.
Okay.
There's another app, but it's more of like just a company. It's called Ellevest. You should follow them. So that's spelled ELLEVEST.
Okay.
So it's not in correlation to the L publication. So the magazine, it's completely different, but it does go in regards to femininity, but also women empowerment, especially when it comes to business.
Okay.
And it's definitely a platform for you to really just kind of see how we can definitely encourage within our own gender to really
Financial literacy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
So
Ellevest. Yeah.
what do you think about this? Let me ask you this. Like I say, I stay in my own lane, but I love Medium. Is anybody like familiar with Medium? If anybody's out there, like, wait, Medium is great. And I clicked on the little thing for financial to send me articles or people who blogged about it.
Yeah.
Because then I'm hearing it from them, and then I'm not lost with these big old words. And I'm like, what's that? Like,
Yeah.
what's a Q? I have no idea.
Yeah.
So are you familiar with Medium?
I'm not.
Medium, I think, is a great way on top of all the other ones that you're mentioning. What about podcasts?
Podcasts?
Yeah, are there any other podcasts you recommend?
Well, I mean, right now I'm listening to more of just personal development when it comes to podcasts. Again, I gear towards articles, so through publications when it comes to just everyday, market performance, as well as just obviously whatever happens in the market is in correlation to just, could be news of within the government, all that stuff. So.
What are you listening to in your car when you drive? Like podcasts?
Yeah, so I mean, within my company, I have a lot of executives that have kind of branched out and become mentors as well as
Motivational speakers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would definitely, it's definitely like a personal development class in my car. So so it's more personal development than being,
Yeah. So you have a couple of accounts I've noticed, because I've crept through. You have some great accounts that you follow.
Okay.
I can't remember the name, but it's Eddie Millette, something like that.
Yeah, so there's a gentleman, his name is Ed Milet. He actually is a chairman within my company.
Oh, okay.
So, but now he's a motivational speaker as well as just huge on the ground. I mean, I think
he really is though.
No, yeah, I think he reached 1 million viewers very quickly, and so he's definitely someone that I listen to, and he's interviewed celebrity after celebrity, but also people that have, kind of gone through the trenches of life as well as their career. And so, he's definitely someone I listen to.
So because of you, I actually started following him, and here's what I really love about accounts like that. You know what I noticed that he does so well? He posts regularly, but he does it at the same time. He wakes up so early.
Oh yeah, like he's an athlete within life, business, and that's that's actually relatable to me. It's like I'm all about just waking up early before the sun rises, but also just really getting the day going, and
And I've noticed that, and I really admire that. I started waking up at 5 a.m. maybe like months ago, like when I really went full time with my business. And I think in everything that you do in your life, you really have to ask yourself, like, what am I doing with my time? It's the one thing you won't get back.
Right.
Tell us about your morning routine.
Okay.
How do you handle, Michelle? Because you get up.
I'll be
early.
honest, sometimes it's not always the same time, but I would say definitely when I wake up, it's a matter of like just meditating or just taking a time to really, be grateful for just being up, waking up, seeing a new day.
I woke up.
Yeah, I woke up. Because, life, we go through things, definitely I have, personal things going on within the home. And so I just always give thanks to just, being, healthy, being able to be in this type of environment, working with people like yourself.
So gratitude.
Gratitude.
What else? Like, what other little tips can we take from
Yeah,
you?
I mean, definitely, I don't know if you ever heard of just like sometimes taking a cold shower could get you,
I
awake
can't.
to.
I don't know.
Which
I can't do it.
No, I can't
Yeah.
do that, but I've tried it a few times and it works, but I'm not consistent on that. But definitely, waking up, affirmations, actually writing down goals, daily goals. And
So writing things down,
Yeah.
that might help people, right? Like making a list.
yeah, I'm a huge
List maker.
Oh my god, I'm very structured. I need to check things off. Like it's like.
So
just
here's
an
my
addiction.
question, Michelle, because you're really good at getting stuff done, and I love how like if
I
I reach
try,
out,
I try.
no, when I reach out,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're on it,
Oh,
you
yeah,
do.
yeah.
When on that list we're list makers, when is it too much versus too little? Like how do we know? Like what's a good amount where you don't want to overwhelm yourself, but you know it's
Yeah.
still doable?
In terms of like actual amount number or.
Yeah, like maybe on my list I'll have max 10 because I
Max
don't want to
10.
get overwhelmed.
I don't know. I think there's never enough for. I don't know. I'm all about just whatever needs to get done that day, and if it's 20, then I just have a.
Prioritize.
Yeah, so it's priority. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's up to the person. I'm all about just whatever needs to get done, and if it's 20 things, then it's gonna be listed. So.
And how do you do with time management? Because I think for our interns,
yeah.
that's a huge one. Like they're working, they go
Yeah.
to school, they
Yeah.
do internships, like they have friends, they have a personal life. Like what tips can we give them for time management? How do you do
Yeah,
it?
I mean, I'm someone who always has to work on time management. I think it's a matter of again making a list and prioritizing what needs to get done because that will help in just knocking things out. But what else? I guess just not having so much distraction. Whether it's like have your phone on mute as well as maybe shut off notifications just so that you can get things done. Yeah.
So don't have like push coming through with the gram and Facebook
Yeah,
and Pinterest
yeah.
and
I think that's why I'm not
everything.
too savvy on Instagram.
Yeah.
Just because it's like I'm trying to get things done.
Mhm.
But then again, it's there, and I'm always looking at posts
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
trying to mute everything so that I can get things done.
What do you feel has been the most effective to really just help you run your day like just much better, like time effective wise?
I don't know. I think it's a matter of just keeping things all within like an amount of hours consecutively.
Mhm.
So meaning like I'm always trying to like get activities within just one amount of hours versus it being scattered because then it's like, oh my god, I had a 12-hour day and then I had a block of like 3 hours in between, which that's not really effective. So it's almost like try and get things scheduled within like a 4-hour frame or 5 hour because then talk about the rest of your day, then it's like, oh my god, like I got things done.
Yes.
Now I have more time, more freedom to do what I need to do personally maybe. So
I hear you on that, and I don't
yeah.
know, but something that maybe I've tried like over the years, because I do so much, and people are like, "Whoa, Z, like slow down a little bit,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
slow
yeah.
motion for me."
Okay.
Like they play juvenile for me, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get it. One thing that really helps, maybe I learned this as a kid or whatnot, but psychologically, it really helps me if I just go in order, literally. Like if I have 3, 4, 5 errands to run, I'm literally mapping it out, like it's like,
no, I'm
and
so
just
like that too.
yeah, and it's the same thing with activities. If I'm already in my email, I'm gonna bust out all my emails.
Yeah.
If I'm already on the gram, I'm gonna bust out all these DMs.
Right.
To get
Yeah,
back to them.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's
Yeah.
I like the mapping out things so that you're not going back and forth. It's like, okay, this is close, then the next one.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Or grouping things into like what's easiest and just get that out of the way so it's not too
Yeah,
much energy.
yeah. Sometimes it's again priority. So if something is gonna be time consuming, then you might as well just make it the first thing. But I get you like in
And
terms
that's a
of,
great segue, I think, to the next question, Michelle, which is priorities with finance.
Yeah.
So we have students in the house, we have people
Mhm.
watching, and I've met so many people that have so much student debt, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's the next thing to crash. We
Mhm.
had the housing market in 2008, right?
Yeah.
And then now the student loans are through the roof.
Yeah.
So here's a question. For people who have student loans, people who have like just baby, they have a car payment, they have all this
Yeah.
stuff, how can you still save? It is possible, but
Yeah.
how do you do it?
Well, I mean, we all have, necessities. So I don't know if we, you know, we want things and stuff. So I read an article recently, and you know, there's a thing called wanting something and needing something.
Yes, wants and needs.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I think you have to understand, like, what is it that you need versus what you want.
Can you give us examples? Like, what should we look out for? 'Cause
Well,
these
I
are good
mean,
questions.
we have a lot of women in the house, so
Yeah.
obviously, you know, we're all about like the look, the glamour. So
Yeah, it's LA. Like,
it's
we gotta
LA.
look
We gotta
nice,
look
like,
good.
gotta
So,
look nice at the grocery store.
so if you're someone who likes to get their nails done,
Yes.
get their hair done, obviously it's for, you know, maybe work or whatnot. But if it's like you do it as a necessity, then you may want to kind of look at your budget in regards to like, okay, I don't need to get my nails done every single week.
Or bling bling it out with diamonds.
Yeah,
Like, I still got my
you
car
see,
nails.
like, no nails
Yes,
done.
sacrifices.
And I'm like, I need to get my nails
Show them,
done.
show them, it's all right,
Yeah,
yeah.
so she got her nails done, and I still got to get mine
This
done.
is a month, like right here.
Well, good,
Yes,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah,
Mhm.
needs versus wants. And then also, we like to go out and have a good time. So, drinks, dinner, all
It adds
that.
up.
Entertainment. So, that's all going to add up. So, it's a matter of just really looking at your budget, or just really like your expense.
So that's a great point, and I want to include the males too. So
Mhm.
before we go into segue of like how we keep track of all those stuff, because
Yeah.
nobody teaches you this stuff.
Yeah.
I've spoken on this, you know, as a motivational speaker so many times that we learn 2 + 2, we learn about English, we learn about science
Yeah.
in school and reading,
Mhm.
but nobody ever sits us down and says, okay, look, this is what emotions are like, this is what you're going to learn how to manage them, and this is how you run a bank account. This is how you don't go over. These are how credit cards work.
Mhm.
Nobody does it because it's not in the favor of some businesses
Mhm.
to learn to manage your emotions or your money. So for the fellas, like we went over like manis and petties or hair or whatnot. What do fellas spend money on that may not be a necessity but a want? For the fellas in the house,
Right,
like
right.
what do men spend their money on that they may or may not need?
Hopefully, I'm not going to put them on blast.
Let's do some
Yeah,
blast work.
No, yeah. I mean,
Uh-huh. Let's see.
I mean, guys also like to look good as well, but
You're like, I think.
I think in regards to just like media, like they like to watch sports, so definitely like spending on just, you know,
like floor seats versus like
yeah,
watching
I mean,
the
not
mid-court,
necessarily going
like-
to sporting events, but maybe just like, you know, having subscription on like ESPN, or I know a lot of guys like to Netflix and chill, so
That's a whole other
right,
line.
that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah,
So you know, we all like our Netflix, but I don't know, I guess media, like they like to spend on just like, you
Yeah.
know, and then you know, maybe cars, they like their cars.
You know, here's I'm gonna have a question for you, Michelle. Here's what I don't know, just in my
Um,
experience, seeing in and out men that are patients and they come talk to me
Yeah,
and
yeah.
whatnot. The number one thing I hear that men spend money on that they are like, I know I shouldn't, but I just can't, is plan meals accordingly.
Mm.
Like men love food.
Oh yeah.
They just, I mean, who doesn't?
Right.
But it's like I could have cooked that at home. Like, have you ever had a meal? It's like I could have made that at home.
Right.
Like that was not even satisfying.
No, yeah.
And you're spending money,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the time you spend to go get it, and the gas, and then your energy even getting there,
Mhm.
right? So that's a big one. How much are we spending on food, manis, patties, the hair, right? The
Mhm.
sporting events.
Mhm.
So there's this thing called Excel. There's this thing called QuickBooks.
Yeah.
But I want to know what is super effective for people to just start keeping track. What am I spending?
Right.
How can they do that effectively?
Yeah, like what you mentioned, those spreadsheets definitely.
But
there's-
what about somebody that's challenged? Like me and Excel, we don't get along at
Right.
all. We fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously automated stuff. There's this app called Acorn. I don't know
Oh
if you've
yeah,
heard of
Acorn. Tell them, put them on.
Yeah,
Put
I
them
mean,
on.
yeah,
Acorn.
Acorn is an app, and so it kind of tracks. Well, it doesn't track. It actually helps you on just, you know, expense. So say if you spend something and there's like change
Mhm.
coming from it, that change could go into like some type of investment or savings. So that can obviously help in regards to, you know, saving away from like what
So
you
it rounds
spent.
it to the dollar.
Yeah, so say if you have, like, you bought a meal and it's like $9.50, and so you give, obviously you paid in like $10, so that 50 cents will go into some type of savings. and that starts to add up. So Acorn, that's definitely
Yeah.
an app to use.
One thing I've noticed over the years is that, I'm really good about like credit cards and whatnot. Like I'm 100% debt free, and I
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
people this because
Okay.
it's so important
yeah,
in a
very
career as a
important.
professional
Yeah.
just to have that freedom.
Yeah.
A lot of credit card companies will have that cute little pie wheel that shows you what you're spending on. So it'll show you like car, it'll show you groceries, it'll show you like beauty and entertainment. It'll
Yeah.
show you different areas of
Mhm.
finance, right?
Mhm.
So I think that's important to understand how it works, and it's free. It's
Yeah.
part of your report.
Mhm.
Another thing I've noticed is that just literally if I go into my phone on a note, I'll write down everything I spent money on. And then at the end I'll be like, okay, what am I spending on money the most,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So Michelle, here's our quick question. It wasn't until later on, because I had parents that shared with me what a Roth IRA was, what a traditional, what a 401k. I think this is the main question our interns had as well as everybody else. What are those? Can we start with the 401k?
Yeah, so
What is that?
yeah, so 401k is just a tax code, and actually was introduced right after World War II. So it was actually used for tax advantages for executives, but along the way, it was an opportunity to also provide it for employees. So it's definitely it's a retirement plan. So it's offered through employers.
Mhm.
If you're full time, that's a benefit, and so that's where you can save away for your retirement. But also the advantages is that you can reap like tax advantages, but also companies can give you a match, and so that's free money going into your account.
Yeah.
But obviously there's like rules to it, so that's where it goes down to the conversation. Do you understand how it works? Is someone at your job breaking things down, or is it just
Who
like
should that be at a job though? Like let's say somebody starts, they're brand new, they're young professionals. Who should they ask when they first start their job? Like, what are my saving options, or what should they ask?
Well, I mean, it's definitely tough to find someone within the workplace, like say, the company that you're working
Sure.
at, to give you advice. So, I mean, your HR is who provides.
Okay, so HR.
So HR is the one that's going to administer your plan, but in terms of them breaking things down, it might be a little tough for them to really, sit down with you because they're not advisors.
Mhm.
So it's a matter of just, knowing someone who, is in that field, and that's where they can break things down and just talk about how it works. So, and that's where like there's that conversation when it comes to, people are working, they have these plans, but who are they meeting with when it comes to, just how they can see like their money grow, as well as.
And that's the thing I'll tell you, Michelle, that if it wasn't for my parents, and I know a lot of people don't have this, but it said like, this is a financial planner, and I'm like, what's that? But I was 18.
Yeah.
People I think are like 30, like closer to our age, and then they're like, what is that? Like, how do I even find one? So what are some questions that we should ask a financial advisor in the beginning when we're first starting to get to know them, if they're the right one for us? What type of questions should we be asking? Like, what's a good idea to ask?
Yeah, I mean, really, how can I see my money grow, as well as maybe seeing it protected at the same time?
Okay, so how can I see my money grow and protect it?
Or see my assets protected at the same time, which, that's definitely important.
Yeah.
You don't want to obviously put your hard-earned money into something that could also lose money as well.
Okay.
So talk about yesterday's performance, people's hard-earned money definitely affected, but the market does bounce up, so I think it's in the positive. I haven't checked at this hour, but definitely it's at a upside, just rebounding.
Yeah.
So rebounding what you may have lost yesterday.
So I think one question that really just came up for me time and time again, because over the years I've switched different financial planners or whatnot. But one thing that made me feel really comfortable with you, Michelle, is that you said if you have any questions, please let me know.
Yeah.
And everybody I think kind of just says that as a staple, like if you have any questions, let me know.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
very few actually follow up, which you do. But also you check in from time to time, and you let me know, or you send me resources. That's
Yeah.
huge. One of the biggest questions I've asked throughout the years for financial planners is, how much time do you have available if and when I have a challenge and or a question that needs assistance? Because sometimes life will get in the way, or this is like their third or second job, and how much time are they really devoting towards their clients? I think that matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Any comment on that, or anything to add to it?
I mean, kind of repeat that again, just more.
Yeah, like just important question to ask a financial planner
Yeah.
from the very beginning, because that's building the relationship. Like, what are key questions to ask?
So outside of just how to see your money, grow, but also be protected, but also kind of talk about your goals. I mean, that's the whole point of a financial planner is.
So there's financial goals, and then there's like life goals, and then there's hair goals.
I mean, they're all relatable. I mean, really talk about your goals, whether it's short term or long term. Obviously, we all want to retire someday, so that's definitely a goal to kind of emphasize with a financial planner. And is it like I want to travel the world, or is it like I want to own a home, have a family? And so obviously kind of talk about just money, what is it going to take to really have a comfortable, if not beyond that type of lifestyle.
That's a great question, because I think financially a lot of people say, well, I'd like this and this in the future, but they don't really have an accurate number of what it's going to be like. I know when you broke mine down, I was like, what? Like, I'm going to contribute what to have this?
So like another question is that I would say to maybe like someone that I would sit down and really consult is what is your number when it comes to maybe long-term investments, or just in terms of life, just what would you need in regards to having a comfortable, if not beyond, retirement? Kind of break it down by monthly, like how much do you think you'll need, and then kind of go beyond it, times it by 12 months, so that annual amount. And then with people living longer these days, kind of consider a long retirement, and you'll be amazed at the total amount.
I was
it's definitely in the millions. So
it
kind of goes back to where you are now, in terms of, are you saving? Are you keeping up to date with your your accounts through your employer? Like, are you definitely seeing growth, or are you kind of backtracking?
No, that's a great point. And I want to say also, Michelle, that there's this thing called a diverse portfolio. I learned about it through my financial planners throughout the years and yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about Roth IRA versus traditional IRA, and what is that, and what does it stand for? Because they're acronyms.
So again, actually, they're considered tax codes as well, and so very much they're retirement plans. So talk about if you are self-employed, business owner, or maybe part-time but still working under an employer. You may not have that opportunity to have a 401k. So IRAs, whether traditional, Roth, that's where you can start saving away. The difference between the two is that a Roth IRA is considered tax-free, and so that's where someone could obviously see themselves more efficient on the taxation, versus traditional IRA, there is a pre-tax implication. So meaning that your contributions going in have not been taxed. So as you start to receive distribution at a certain age, because there is a rule to that, that's where you start paying the taxes. So it's tax deferred.
And I've heard this so many times, Michelle. Now I know. But if I break this down, let me see if I understood it correctly. So a Roth IRA is one where I get money and it goes into my account, right? And then I'm already taxed on that. And then I put it into that little pot, which is Roth. That's why I'm not taxed on it, because I've already been taxed.
Exactly.
Tax.
So
That's
it's really what you get out of it is the tax.
Right, and then when I pull it out, there's no tax, like it's on me.
Right.
Okay. And then there's traditional IRA, as I understood it, as when I get money from my employer, I don't get taxes taken out of that. That just goes straight in. But later on, I'm gonna get taxed on it. And the idea is on the diverse portfolio is to take Roth and traditional, and then it's either you get a hit later with taxes or now. Either way, you won't get taxed.
Difference, those are the difference between the two.
So, what else should we add into this diverse portfolio?
Obviously short-term savings. So obviously everybody's saving in the bank, or let's say everybody or the majority, and so that's obviously for your emergency, because you want liquidity. And the bank offers that. And so there's other tools to definitely see yourself receiving money very quickly, but still obviously there's a thing called high yield savings accounts, so online savings that could give you a higher return than maybe your regular savings account through a bank.
And I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I got older. Right, we talked about that. So tell us, like, what would be the process? Because here's the thing, I'll tell you, Michelle, most people already love you. They just do. They just don't know the next steps. So what would it be like just like therapy? People are like, oh, I know I need to go, but I'm scared. I don't know who to talk to. And then it's, do you know somebody, right? How can people, like, how have you been approached by people and later they're like, I wish I would have done this sooner?
How I would approach people?
No, how
or
have they approached you? Like, I'll share.
Okay.
Like, through
Yeah, yeah.
therapy,
Oh,
I've gotten DMs,
Yeah.
I've gotten emails, I've gotten
Yeah.
phone calls, I've gotten my homegirl needs help, you know, like, she really needs help, and then they bring her in. Like, how do you get people that reach out to you and then finally understand and go, oh,
Well,
I needed
yeah,
help.
I mean, part of my role with the company is a lot of marketing, so a lot of just word of mouth, like just really spreading the word of just what is it that I can do for people, and you know, really referrals come a long way from that. And like you are, you know, mentioning about just our experience, you know, talk about just if I provide great service from you, that's where our referrals could come from.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think it's all about just, you know, how you build a relationship with the people that you're helping. And then from there, that's where, okay, someone is also talking about they need help. Let me refer them to Michelle because she's given me, you know, great, you know, service.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, really having a presence of just, you know, you're there for everybody.
Mhm.
And that's where just a lot of business can come from it. And then talk about social media, you know, just really posting just, you know, key things when it comes to daily news. That's also just, that's where people are like, oh my God, I didn't know about that.
Right,
And that's
right.
where you
Yeah.
start to
Yeah,
connect.
I feel like in this day and age now, if you could be somebody's plug with whatever you're really good at,
Yeah.
people will come to you and
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh, I didn't know this, right?
Mhm.
So as time going by, we went over what are some great ways to save money,
Yeah.
right? We went over important questions, for example, we should ask for financial management.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last question I want to ask is, what do you thrive off? Because you do great at networking.
Yeah.
I network like crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's my jam.
Mm-hmm.
What helps you network so well? Because we have so many people that always ask me, like, I'm shy, I don't know what to say.
Right.
Like, what do you do? What do you say at a networking event that just helps people open up with you and connect?
I think it's all about just sharing your story.
Yeah?
I think it's because, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about being relatable
Mhm.
versus like, oh, I'm up here and you're down here.
Yeah.
I think it's all about being relatable. And then just really always having a smile. So
Mhm.
I'll be honest, I definitely was a shy girl, even though like playing sports, that's where my inner self came out. But when I'm not performing, I'm kind of like in a zone, just more
Yeah.
like, okay, reserved.
Uh-huh.
But I would say like along the way that definitely detrimented just, you know, where I'm at today, because if only I was, you know, more open, I would definitely be at a different place. But I'm not gonna regret where I'm at today. It's definitely been a good ride.
Mhm.
But I would say just, you know, always having a smile, sharing your story, and just, you know, really kind of just listening to the other person's story as well as what they do, and kind of
That's a great point, being a great listener,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Listening in into what their needs are and what their
Yeah.
wants are.
Or just,
That's
yeah,
great.
make it like it's, you know, also about them too and not about you.
Right, right.
Because I think that's one thing about networking. People feel like when they go to network, it's almost like everybody else is out to, like, you know, have a motive, or just like, you know, here's my business card, this is what I do, blah blah blah, versus like, why don't you start off by building a friendship with someone?
Yeah,
And
you
that-
like the strawberries? Like, they're good, right?
yeah, like just having regular conversations. And that's what I normally do when it comes to, you know, consulting, helping people with obviously maybe finance or just personal growth.
Yeah.
Just really kind of getting to know them, getting to know their personal self.
Yeah.
And from
You're
there-
just a low-key therapist. Like, let's just say
yeah,
it,
yeah,
Michelle.
yeah, low-key, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because they come and they tell you about all their family, like, I can't be saving because this person.
Right.
is-
No, yeah. I mean, even
Yeah.
in the office, I'm also just, you know, working with a lot of great people, and, you know, we're all human. We all have obviously, you know, challenges
And family.
Exactly, and family. So
Yeah.
definitely those are conversations that I have on a daily. But
Yeah.
it's a matter of just knowing that things will be okay and just moving forward.
I would agree.
Mhm.
And Michelle, you know, we have some questions from our interns
Yes.
that we want to ask. So
Mhm.
who would like to ask a question?
At what age would it be best to start those savings accounts? Is there a certain age where
Yeah,
they
yeah,
should
yeah.
start planning, or is it a certain age where it's too late to start
Right.
planning or so?
I would say it's almost like if you're in your mother's womb is the
Mother's
earliest.
womb. That's when you need to
Yeah,
start.
I mean, it's almost like as you start to kind of think of having a family, you always want to kind of start thinking about your future children's future. So it's crazy when it comes to college planning, you know, student loan,
Mhm.
what we've encountered.
Yeah.
Talk about just you being like the footstone to just, you know, making a better future for your future children. So meaning like set up a college plan. I mean,
Therapy
really,
plan, like,
therapy,
no,
like have
parents
things
are not
already kind of
perfect.
like geared towards just, you know, basic
Mhm.
saving to just once they are born, like literally you can set up a college plan for your child at like, you know, a few months old.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can. All you need is the child needs a social security, you know, that's most requirements, but just really, yeah, it's never too early to obviously start saving, but as, say someone didn't have that opportunity, like their parents didn't really save, and it wasn't because they didn't want to, maybe they just weren't
They didn't know.
They didn't know, they weren't educated, well, you know, that's where you can obviously step forward and just, you know, start saving, and you guys are young, so definitely you have more of an advantage than maybe someone who's, you know, close to retiring, and
Mhm.
maybe they weren't given the opportunity to
That's
save.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you know, a lot of people think, well, close to retirement is the retirement age of what, like, what is it now, like 65
Well,
or something?
It's, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the norm has been definitely 65, but
I'm hoping to be close to retirement.
right.
That's
Well,
the goal.
obviously we're business owners,
Right,
so obviously
right.
our goal is to
Exit out.
Exit out.
Yeah.
Definitely in a few years, maybe.
That's
you
it.
know. So
Yeah. Meet you at the beach, Michelle.
no, yeah. But I would say definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's really just never start. It's never too soon to start early when it comes to saving, but also just. Yeah, I think just sitting down with people, educating them on their options.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sounds like
Mhm.
a plan. So Michelle, we're gonna have some more questions, definitely from our interns right now, but we're gonna go ahead and close it up over there because
Yeah,
we might
no,
hit the time.
exactly.
Instagram might cut us
No,
off.
yeah.
You know.
Sorry,
Yes.
guys.
Yeah. So Michelle, where can people find you? Do you have a website? Do you have social media?
Yeah.
What platforms do you have?
Yeah, so I'm
people
on
can follow you.
LinkedIn. LinkedIn is definitely where you
LinkedIn's
can.
the jam.
Yeah, LinkedIn
Mhm.
definitely. It's like my business card in
I
a
agree.
sense. And then Instagram again, Michelle_.Vine. Facebook, yeah, just look up my full name, Michelle Vine.
Mhm.
What else? Not on Snapchat, so oh no.
No,
my
I'm
Snapchat
not either.
users.
Yeah.
Sorry. Again, I'm more of like face-to-face networking. I'm very old school, so I'm all about just face-to-face versus like, you know.
No, I completely
Yeah.
agree, absolutely. And for anyone on Michelle's side that has, you know, some family or they got, you know, difficulty saving money because they got a difficult mama or they got a difficult partner,
Yeah.
to holler at your girl, right? So it's at Be The Therapy for Facebook, for Instagram, for YouTube, across the board, Facebook. Everything is Be That Therapy. Or you can find me on Michelle's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go ahead and end it there. But thank you so much, Michelle.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you.
your time.
Have a great day, guys.
And Michelle's?